For this kind of money, you'd think we were launching a fleet of QE2s. In fact, we are launching 800 trains as part of our £3,000 million renewal programme. There are 3 different types of train, each designed to make your journey plain sailing.
Get it Mobastar. Mobastar. Modern and spacious, Moorbus is the way to go. To get you where you're going, go with the Moorbus flow. Free Wi-Fi on the M1 and M2 buses. There's more to a Moorbus, more pluses. An app store, an Android marketplace. No need with a Moorbus to find a parking space. Convenient with smart cards to get you treats. Modern and clean with leather and comfy seats. So take the weight off and join the Moorbus party. Party, enjoy views of the town and of the sea. For you and me, it's the Moorbus, 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 more. Get it Moorbus style. Moorbus style. Whoop, 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 whoop. Get it Moorbus style. Moorbus style. Whoop, 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 whoop. Get it Moorbus style. Hey, sexy Moorbus. Whoop, 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 whoop. Get it Moorbus style. Hey, sexy Moorbus. Whoop, 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 whoop. Get it Moorbus style. Fatebug. Yeah.
Hello and welcome to this very different episode of On the Moorbuses. We're not looking at a route today, we're just having a bit of a retrospective and looking back at the 2 seasons we've done so far, as today marks, well, the date of uploading marks the 1 year since I first uploaded the trailer for the first season. Now, it wasn't originally supposed to be what it is today, it was just the off chance I did a little TikTok. That'll probably appear on screen in a minute, of buses just passing around on the summer network last year. Just happened to put It's a Great Life on the buses as the background, but after that I got an idea to do a 5-minute compilation, but full song 4 minutes, and it just sort of went from there. And me, CJ and Rush just, well, I had the idea, I asked them if they'd be alright with it, and it just sort of went from there, and here we are 1 year later, and we're still going. We're about to enter season 3, that'll be coming out in about 2 weeks time, but before that we've got a British Rail Adventure to come out, and then obviously the first episode will be the long 70s. We've also got the M2 episode which is coming up in the pipeline soon, and between the first and second episode, much like what I did in between the first and second episode of season 2, the complete edition of season 2 will be uploaded to the channel. I'm not sure if it will follow the same format as before with the ads before, but I quite like that, so I might keep that in. Just got to think of some ads to put in. But yeah, obviously I'm extremely grateful for the support you guys have shown me. Obviously watching the videos, liking, commenting, and even if I bump into some of you guys out and about, you've always been really friendly. and even though I may not seem like it with not reacting to the comments on the channel, I do want to try and obviously keep in touch with you guys, so that's sort of why I'm making this video as well, as a thank you for tuning in and supporting the series. It really means a lot to me, and when I first started I never thought On the Moorbuses would go this far. I just thought it'd be a couple of little videos, do it with some friends and just a bit of fun, but it's growing, it's doing really well, and I have you guys to thank for that. And I don't know what else to say. Some of the footage you're seeing now is just bits I've filmed here and there. The first clip after the little intro thing is actually from the upcoming episode of season 1. We did get 1409 for the first day. I know I really wanted to do the X-Yellows, 1812 and 1813, but as we weren't able to get them, hopefully one of the days they'll both be out. There will be an On the Yellow buses coming, just because it doesn't feel right to leave them out. They are, in my opinion, the flagship of that route, and it's be good to see them out on the route. But obviously season 3, it's going to be a bit of a mixed bag. So I've got personal stuff, but yeah, hopefully we'll be focusing more on the pool side of it. I do want to try and get out on the 60 this summer, because I think that'd be a really good video to make, and it will tie into the 40s and 50s, along also tie into the 70s where it links up Rockley Park. The 60 I think is a good link between 3 of the Maton Breezer routes, and speaking of the Breezers, I'm hoping to get the 30 done this year. Obviously it's a bit of an ask because it's a bit far, but hopefully we will get it done. Coming up, I'm not sure if it'll be in season 3 or it'll be in season 4. Obviously we'll have another trip to Blackpool. One of the routes I'm planning on doing is the 5C, which is Blackpool Town Centre to Knotts End. It's one of the routes I've always wanted to do, even just ride on it as a passenger. It's hopefully it'll be there and you'll get to experience that as well. And we'll be trying to do more videos with some of the other local companies, for example First Wessex. There should be something coming out this year, so keep your eyes peeled for that. It's going to be a two-part. It's going to be the first 2-part special. I'm not going to give much away, but all I can say is most important first. What I'm going to do now, obviously, I'm going to let whatever clip plays here, and then we're going to go and have a look at some of the comments and questions you guys have left me over the year. I'm going to quickly take a look at some of the questions you guys have asked me, starting with the latest episode and working our way backwards. So I was asked when's the first video of June coming out. Like I said earlier on, it'll be coming out in about 2 weeks, and that will be the first episode of season 3, being the long 70s from we're going to be starting from Rockley and going down to Holborn Park. Also, I know the last episode of season 2 we did say goodbye to Blakey on the main part of the series. He's gone on to pastures new, but we will still see him occasionally, obviously with holidays, or he might still join us as passenger for certain routes if he's available. Let's have a look. I do get a lot of requests to do the Blue Star 6. Obviously this is going to be when I'm available to do it. That episode will come, but it's not something I'm going to do straight away, because obviously I have to wait until I'm available to do it, get my timing sorted and do that. That will probably come out at some point. The Activate is something I'd like to do as well. We're obviously it's run by 2 companies. It's done by Salisbury Reds, which is which is under the parent group of Moorbus, which is GSC, and it's run by Stagecoach as well. So that will be done in one day. So it'd be one way by the Salisbury Reds route and another way by the Stagecoach group. It will either get put in one episode or split into 2, but I'm not too sure on that. Also, Unilink in Southampton is another sort of thing I'm looking at doing. again, it just depends when I'm able to do it. And another thing I do want to touch on, obviously, is holidays. It's a bit trickier to do because obviously I have to go to other places to ride the buses, and again, timing can be a bit tight with how much time I have in the day, or if I can get some time to go out and film. So the next few episodes, or in the next season, will probably primarily focus on Moorbus, with a sprinkling of Salisbury Reds, Blue Star and Damroy, with the occasional holidays. Like I said, I have the one planned with that I want to do with that on First Wessex, and the Bournemouth Bus Rally special will also be coming out this year. Obviously we've got that in July it is this year, and that's going to be a fantastic day out with loads of old vehicles. Obviously it's sponsored by Moorbus, but there's also going to be lots of Heritage Yellows and all the other good buses that come down for that. Well, I think that's about it for the questions I've got. Oh, and someone also asked me, what editor do I use? It is CapCut. It's a free software, but I upgrade to the Pro just so I can get a few extra transitions and editing bits that they've changed from the free one to go on to Pro, but I don't mind. And so another route that's been requested is the Route 1 and 898. They will be coming out as well. Obviously they're quite easy to do, so they will probably go in one episode together. But I think that's about all the questions we've got, and I think we'll end the video around here. Again, I just want to say a huge thank you for you guys for tuning in, supporting the channel, supporting the series, and hopefully I can continue to bring it out to you guys. Obviously, if they get delayed, I will try and bring them out as frequently as I have been. Obviously, Thursday uploads mainly on the channel, so it'll either be on the Moorbuses, a British Rail Adventure, or hopefully a Purbeck Junction. If bonus videos go out, obviously like this one, it'll be random days, or I will try and stick to Mondays for bonus videos. So these could be stuff like bite size or spotting videos. If we see some rare allocations, I can put them in a little compilation, or I can bring back musical compilations as well. But I do hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you continue to enjoy the series, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time for the first episode of Season 3. I've been Aaron as Jack, and until next time, enjoy your life on the Moorbuses.
So much feeling on the buses. fumble for the fare. It always happens in the crushes. They take their chances when it's there. It's so exciting on the buses when someone's fumbling close to you. But when the traffic jams in rushes, there's little else to do. There's always gay life on the buses. Make sure you leave your bird at home. You'll see so many on the buses. You won't be sitting on your own. It's so romantic on the buses. You'll find it thrilling when you ride. And you can get it on the buses, upstairs or down inside. Oh, it's a great life on the buses, no matter what the time of day. You see the world on omnibuses. We're on our way. La 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 la. 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 La 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 la.
We're here in Bournemouth Square today. This is Lord Bitty. He will be appearing at some point in the series. We're going out with Butler on the 1As today, as we do the 1As, Bs and Cs on the Moor buses. Roll the music. Kicking off season 2, we are leaving Bournemouth Square on the 1A. As you can see, we're heading up towards Old Christchurch Road, through the back road past the Burlington Arcade. Then we come up to Horseshoe Common before heading down through Lansdowne, then Boscombe Gardens, Boscombe, round through the past the bus station, through the Folkestone, Lower Folkestone, Eyford, Christchurch High Street, and then we finally head up towards the Somerford Sainsbury's along the main road. Now there is a diversion in place on this route on a Monday, along with the 1B, C33, X1 and X2, along with the 125 as well, as the Market Day diversion. Christchurch High Street is closed on a Monday for the market, so the buses have to go up into the Waitrose, down the dual carriageway, then back round in, and then join back at Two Rivers Meet, which I'll point out later on. But for now, just enjoy the ride. I'll see you soon. as we come into Christchurch. Just to the left as we've gone past, that's where the Market Day diversion goes down. Then we now stop here behind the X1, whereas the one I used to stop a bit further up, as this used to be the stop for the Burton buses and the buses beyond Christchurch to other places. Now this is the section of road that's closed off during the Market Day, so no buses come down here. To the right is just the Christchurch ruins. We go over both the rivers is the stand pit, and then just the junction up ahead of us is where the buses join back on after the Market Day diversion. And to the right on that junction is Two Rivers meet, which after a certain time in the day, the 1B and the 1C do terminate there instead of going the full of their route. It's what we know as the nighttime ones, or if you look at some of the bus stops, you can still see remnants of when more buses just call it the 1, just to make it easier. But where the 1B and the 1C do separate routes through Southbourne, which you'll see later on, it's easier just to keep the numbers separate so people don't confuse and don't get on the wrong bus. But now, coming into our final stop on this route, Somerford Sainsbury's. Today's bus for the 1A is number 2010. It's a Scania Omni City single. You may have seen the double-decker versions of these in the first episode of this series 1, which was 70s and 80s, that was 1198, and in the Brislington episode, which was 1195. These are built as obviously single deck versions with less capacity, but this one was originally for the CityLink service, well, Unilink service up in Southampton. So if you look just where the Moore panel is there would have been an extra set of doors, but these buses aren't too bad. This one's brought us on the 1A all the way up from Bournemouth. Currently here at Somerford Sainsbury's. We'll be here again when we go through on the 1C, obviously a different date. So we're going to jump back on, have a quick look at the interior. We're going to talk about some changes that have happened to Fare Zone A. So here we are on board 2010. We're currently waiting to go back towards Bournemouth. Couple of updates with Fare Zone A. The zone has been extended, so you can now catch a 737 out to the airport for Chapel Gate on a Zone A ticket. Highcliffe is now valid in your Zone A ticket. Along with, there is another bit, I'll probably put it along here because I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's good that they're extending Fare Zone A. Just makes it a bit easier for people to get around. Obviously this bus is all in Fare Zone A along with the 1B and later on the 1C, but we're going to head back to Bournemouth now. Obviously fare information will appear on the screen just here for this particular route. Hop on, hop off, tap on, tap off. £2 is here indefinitely. All returns cap out at £4. And the frequencies for the 1A, there's usually one every 10 to 15 minutes on Monday to Friday, Saturdays, and then some days I think it's slightly reduced. But on the Monday, instead of serving round down near the Priory, we do go on a diversion via the Waitrose. I'll put a little map on screen here, as the Christchurch Market does block the main high street towards all buses. But yeah, I think that's about it. Let's head back to Bournemouth, shall we? Before we go from the 1A to the 1B, we did go back to town, but we're quickly jumping up here to the East Cliff. This is just a bit of a follow-on from the last season's episode on the 99. Unfortunately, the route has now finished operation, but you can still find the bus 2710 operating on the winter 70s for as long as it's still in its 99 livery. But hopefully it will get changed soon, because I don't really think the branding fits the 70. But if you want to have a bit of fun, in the comments put what livery you'd like to see this bus in. Personally, I'd like to see it back in Salisbury Red's livery, but that's just my opinion. Now, before we go off, well, I'm about to go back on this one and get back to town, so I'll see you back in Folkestone for the 1B up to Burton. So with the 1B we turn left out of Fisherman's Walk down the back roads on the route down the hill. Then we turn right back up towards Tuckton, where we rejoin the 1C. Now with the 1C's bit, we will look into the way it goes through Southbourne when we cover the M2s, as it does follow the same route, and the bit where this bus comes back towards Bournemouth, the little bit it does we can do on the U3, because it basically just follows this route but in reverse, and then when it gets to the roundabout we turned off at, it turns left and does a loop back round into Southbourne. But as you can see here, we are now heading towards Tuckton. Lovely pub on the left there, if you ever want to go for a nice meal. But yeah, we're turning left now into Tuckton as we head towards Tuckton Bridge, which funnily enough you can only get one bus on at a time because it's a weak bridge and it wasn't reinforced after however many years, but trams and trolley buses used to pass on here, well not pass, one stop at each end and we go through. Now we head down towards Christchurch. We cross over the path of the 1A, you can see one go through. We now go past on the left Christchurch Station as we turn right onto Bargate and then into the town centre. Now on the final approach to Burton, we pass under the South Western Main Line, which will carry you to either Waterloo or Weymouth, depending on your direction of travel. Up on the right here is just where we usually turn off into Burton, but because of the diversion we can't. Now we go around the housing estate, which does get us back onto the original route, however we can't access Burton Green at the moment, so we just have to make do with this little stretch before we head back. But I do go into a little bit more detail in just a moment. Usually on the 1B we'd stop at Burton Green, but at the moment the bus is on diversion, so we can't go down there. As you have seen in the time lapse just now, we did come in on the main road on one of the old Yellows routes that used to come this way, and I think an old Wilkes route used to go that way because there's still markings on the main road for it. But we can head back to Bournemouth now, and it's going to be a bit of a time jump. So the filming for the 1C was filmed about a week ago, but because of issues on the day, we had to film the rest of this episode over 2 different days. So the 1A section was filmed on a different day, this has been filmed on a different day, and the 1C was filmed about a week ago. So where it says in the video, oh, for the first half of this video we have this bus, don't get confused, it's just where we had to change them around a bit. But yeah, we'll see you back in Bournemouth for the 1C. So we're currently here at O-Stand in Bournemouth Square. Today's bus for the first half of the video will be 1631 as we go on the 1C via Hunt Road. A bit about this bus, it's one of the first batch of the ADL E400s for the Unibus route, or Unibus branded. This one is orange front with purple back. Been in service since 2016 I believe. Pretty much the same as the ADL we looked at in the Buses to the Bill episode, only this one is much older. But we're going to hop on and head off to Somerford. So here on our third and final bus route today, the 1C, as we enter Christchurch High Street, I'll give a bit of a background about what the bus does before it gets here. Now it travels up from Bournemouth as it same way as the 1A, 1B does, all the way up through Boscombe to Folkestone. Then like the 1B, it turns off at Folkestone towards Southbourne, but unlike the 1B, instead of going left down into the little residential area, it continues straight down towards Southbourne Crossroads. Then it joins up where the 80 during the summer rejoins the route, and along with the 33, before passing over Tuckton Bridge and then into Christchurch like we just saw. Now with the bit here, instead of going straight on this little bit like the 1B does, we turn right into the Somerford estate, snaking round all the residential past the one stop before coming into the Somerford Sainsbury's, where it's the top end of the route before we head off down towards Mudderford and then back in towards Christchurch. Now with the section at Mudderford, we do duck and dive on part of the old X1, X2, while still joining up with the summer 80 route through Mudderford Quay and that way. But the routes do alternate, so one service goes this way round via Somerford first, and another time the next one will go via Mudderford first, so it's an interchange, so no matter which way you go you will still get to where you need to go, but it just depends which way goes through first. As I mentioned earlier, this is one of the parts the X1, X2 used to run, and now we're joining back onto where the 80 went during the summer, so you might recognise a bit of this, you might not. But this, coming up on the left here, is Mudderford Quay, just about here, and then we head back down towards the Purewell Cross roundabout before heading back into Christchurch, where we're going to end today's video. But yeah, the 1C is a very nice route, especially when the weather's a bit nice. It was a bit of a rubbish day for filming when we went on this one, but we still managed to get the footage we needed, and it is a nice little route. But we're coming back up to the main road now, so see you in Christchurch. That's about all we have time for today on this episode of On the More Buses. I know it's been a bit of a long one, the filmings have been in different places, but it's one way to start off season 2. Now I can tell you the next episode, there's going to be a lot of red. It's a bit of a teaser. Well, not that route, because we've already covered that route today, but where that bus is from, there's your teaser for episode 2 of season 2. I've been Aaron, is Jack. And if you've watched this far, I hope you have enjoyed the first episode of season 2 of On the More Buses, and I hope to see you again real soon.
There's always gay life on the buses. Make sure you leave your bird at home. You'll see so many on the buses. You won't be sitting on your own. It's so romantic on the buses. You'll find it thrilling when you ride, and you can get it on the buses, upstairs or down inside. Oh, it's a great life on the buses, no matter what the time of day. You'll see the world on omnibuses. We're on our way.
Something a bit different today is we're either in Salisbury, as we're going to go on the R1s and R2s, as we take a trip on the Salisbury Reds buses. I'm Aaron, as Jack, and join me as we go on the More Buses. So today we're going for a trip on the R1s and the R2s here in lovely Salisbury. So, weather's not the greatest, but it's a nice day. We're going to go on the R1s and R2s just around town. Our bus is in now, we're just going to get on it. It's a familiar face on this bus. You're not going to believe this, but he's usually in Moorbus. Today's driver, Blakey, what are you doing here?
Driving a bus.
Well, perfect timing because I'm going on the Reds buses, so let's go on the Moorbuses. So here we are on the R1, just going around the back of Salisbury District Hospital. As many will remember it, Odstock Hospital. Today's journey will take us all the way from Salisbury Hospital, through Salisbury, and then up to Bennington Heath via the diversion that was in place because on the day of filming, it was Remembrance Sunday, so the city centre was closed off for the Remembrance Day parade. So we headed back on the dual carriageway just behind the Friary, and then back down in towards Salisbury Coach Park. Now, frequencies for this bus, Monday to Friday, they run every 15 minutes. On a Saturday, they run every 15 minutes as well. And on a Sunday, they run every 15 minutes, but with every other journey being the short journey. Now, the short journey only goes as far as Salisbury. It doesn't actually run up to the hospital. So you'll have one service, which will be the long journey, short journey, long journey, short journey, and so on and so forth. But this is part of the diversion route now. We are just coming up to turn left past the Salisbury bus depot and then back into the coach park, where we'll then head off to Bennington Heath, where this bus does a loop around the heath, and then it comes back towards Salisbury. Now, I'll leave you guys to enjoy the rest of the time lapse, and we'll see you when we get to Bennington Heath. So we're here at one of the ends of the routes up here in Bennington Heath. Now, one thing to note with the R1, there is a short journey and a long journey on today's filming day, which is a Sunday. Now, one journey will take you all the way back from Bennington Heath to Salisbury District Hospital, but the other journey will only go as far as the city centre. Now, in the time lapse which you will have just seen, we went through a diversion. That's because the town centre was shut off, or the city centre was shut off for the Remembrance Sunday celebrations. But the buses are now running back to normal route, so we were stopping at the coach park instead of Blue Ball Row. But on this journey we will be going through Blue Ball Row, and then we will be heading out on the R2. Now, ticket information will appear just here. Now, I know there are separate tickets for Salisbury, so those ones will appear first. And then if you are travelling up from Bournemouth and you want to use a Moorbus ticket, you will need a Zone A, B, C ticket like you did for the 40s and 50s, and they will be valid on these services. And as always, the tap on, tap off and the £2 single fare caps do apply on these services as well. But one thing that's slightly different to in Bournemouth, if I'm remembering this correctly, obviously, if you want more information, please head to the Salisbury Reds website, is that concession passes are actually valid earlier than they are in Bournemouth. At Bournemouth, from memory, the cut-off is 9:30, so you can't use it until 9:30 in the morning, Monday to Friday. But if I remember correctly, it's about 8 o'clock here you can use them from in the morning. But obviously if I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments, and again, please do check the website, because I'm not 100% accurate. So links in the description, and obviously the website will have appeared down here. But yeah, we're going to head back into Salisbury now, and then we'll go for a journey on the R2, which will take us around by Bishopsdown, and then we'll probably go for one more journey on the R1, and then we'll wrap up today's episode back on Blue Ball Road. See you in Salisbury. So we're now here on Endless Street. We're about to go on our R2 journey to Bishopsdown and do the loop there. We go out here, turn the second right out of this road, then up towards Bishopsdown by St Mark's Avenue and the church. Now that route is just on Monday to Friday it does do a bigger route. This is just the Salisbury the Sunday short journey. So there will be another episode at some point to do the rest of the route. But another fun fact about this part is just building just behind me is where the Salisbury bus station used to be. So all the buses that are now terminating and leaving from Blue Ball Road used to go from in there, like the X3, the Active 8 and X7. But we're going to hop back on this one. It's a Salisbury Red Delivery Solo SR. It's fair enough, you can only get 45 people on though. So 30 seat and 15 standing.
If you've got any crib sheets
nice
or anything
here,
that you can give me to help me out.
Let's go for a ride, shall we? So with the Sunday R2s, we just head out of Salisbury up towards Bishopsdown, round past the crematorium and then back into Salisbury. It's only a short little loop. The service only runs once an hour and it takes a total of just under 20 minutes to complete the whole loop. They run between 9:30 in the morning and the last one is 7:30 in the evening. But the service, it doesn't really get busy, that's why they put a Solo SR on it, but it is a nice little loop. Yeah, I'll just let you guys enjoy the time lapse, and we'll see you when we get back to Salisbury and when we get back on the R1. And finally we're back on the R1 to just show you what the route usually does when it goes from Bennington Heath into Salisbury and then on to Salisbury District Hospital as far as Blue Ball Row. Instead of going back to the coach park, we instead go in via the station, through Fisherton Street and then finally back onto Blue Ball Row. The section after and the way the bus comes into Salisbury from the hospital I will show when we do the X3s video, as they do follow the same journey. But yeah, coming into Blue Ball Row now. So we're back here at Salisbury District Hospital. It's the end of the night. This one's the last one, so I better hop back on it. But We've had a good day up here in Salisbury today. Hope to come back soon. Yeah, the episode's been a bit all over the place, but what do you expect for something new, eh? But anyway, I've been Aaron as Jack, we've had CJ as Blakey, and I hope you've enjoyed this episode of On the Moor Buses. I'm going to go and hop on and go back home. See you later.
There's always gay life on the buses. Make sure you leave your bird at home. You'll see so many on the buses. You won't be sitting on your own. It's so romantic on the buses. You'll find it thrilling when you ride. And you can get it on the buses, upstairs or down inside. Oh, it's a great life on the buses, no matter what the time of day. You'll see the world on omnibuses. We're on our way.
You may notice behind me is a DOE, but it's not a Salisbury Reds DOE. That's right, we're back on the island today, and we're doing the Route 1 from Newport, well, not Newport, we're in Newport. We're going from Cowes to Newport, then later on we're going back to Cowes from Newport, but we're going to go for another mystery ride in a minute, and you'll find out what that is later on in the episode. I'm Aaron as Jack, Butler's here joining me for the ride, he's behind the camera at the moment, but join me as we ride the Southern Vectis buses and go on the Moor buses. Excuse the hair and cue the intro. Leaving Cowes now, we go via Carville Lane, Medical Centre, Cowes Park and Ride, the Horseshoe Inn, St Mary's Hospital, and finally into Newport Bus Station. Now this is the one that goes via the Park and Ride. The other route, which we'll look at later on in the episode, goes via Roundhouse and goes slightly quicker way into Newport and Cowes, surprisingly, as it only took about 20 minutes on the other one, whereas this one takes a good half an hour. Frequencies Monday to Friday on these. If you're leaving from Cowes, they're every half an hour for the one via Roundhouse and every half hour via the Park and Ride, making a total frequency of every 15 minutes if you are doing the full length of the route. Now Saturdays and Sundays, sorry about the clicking, I have to use a computer for this. On a Saturday the frequency is the same, and on a Sunday even the frequencies are still every half an hour. But, well, every half an hour, one bus is every hour, one bus is every hour, so still the frequencies are very good compared to some buses over here in Bournemouth, but that's enough of me waffling on. Enjoy the rest of the route. So we're currently here in Newport bus station. First leg of our journey today, we went from Cowes, which is all the way up here, then we came all the way down, we went on the Park and Ride branch of the Route 1, then finally into Newport. And we had the DOE 400, as we've now nicknamed it, because it sounds like an E400 Classic when it's running. Obviously I've given a bit more information on the route and the time lapse. Better information for today's video will actually appear just here in the water, because why not, we're on the map. But yeah, if you need more ticket information, please head over to Southern Vectors or islandboss.co.uk for more information, prices and timetables. On the number 7, which leads out of Newport, through Craigieburn, Gunville, Shalfleet, Canmore, Yarmouth, and finally up towards Allen Bay. However, it can go via Cowbourne, Newbridge, Wellow, Thorley, well, it goes through Freshwater anyway. They have 2 routes. A lot of the routes here on the island do actually have 2 separate routes. So the number 7 has 2 different ways. The number 1, the number 9. Yeah, that's about it. Some of the other routes are really nice. We will cover them in future episodes. But for now, we're going to go and head up to number 7, head down to Allen Bay and take a look at the Needles. So enjoy the time lapse. Now for one of the longest routes we've time-lapsed so far on the series, we head out on the Route 7 towards Allen Bay. Now this is the one that goes via Cowbourne, so our main stops will be Newport bus station as we've just left, Crescentbrook High Street, Cowbourne Sun End, Newbridge Orchards, Wellow West White Alpacas, Yarmouth bus station, Freshwater Sainsbury's, Topland War Memorial, and then finally the Needles landmark attraction. It takes exactly an hour to do this route on the way we're going, and then exactly an hour to go on the other way, which will take you via Gunville Crescent, Shalfleet New Inn, and Cranmore Avenue, which we did on the way back, but it was too dark, so I couldn't really get time-lapse footage of it, as there's not many streetlights out that far in the island at that time of night. The bus we managed to get on was another E400 Classic. If memory serves me correctly, I didn't manage to get footage of it pulling in, but I believe it was a Classic. Now, a lot of the buses on the Isle of Wight, they're either ADLs, so you've got E400 Classics, MMCs, and the brand new MMCs that are now at Moorbus, but they got some left over, so they sent them to the island. The DOEs, as you've already seen in the episode, Scania Omni City double deckers, along with Solo SRs. Now, obviously, I've already mentioned I'll mention later about a few more of the buses when we get to the Needles, but we'll leave that on for later. But anyway, again, I'll stop waffling on and just enjoy the time lapse. Oh, before I forget, frequencies, these buses run every half an hour, Monday to Friday, and on a Saturday, Sunday, they're about the same. So yeah, just enjoy the time lapse and we'll see you when we get to the Needles. although we're up here at the Needles viewpoint, the next bus is just coming in. We will hop on that one and go back towards Newport, where we'll do the other half of the one. But yeah, you do get a nice view from up here of the Needles if you go that way. Bus is going to come in right behind me. Nice E400 Classic. And in the summer months, you can get the Needles Breezer, which are run by, there's 3 Visionaires that you can get on it, which are 1401, 2 and 3, which are half cabs, ex-Bournemouth buses, which used to run the 50, introduced back in 2008, 2009. There's also some Paxton President half cabs, or full opens, and there's one that is not like the others. Number 1111, or 1111. Scan your on the City Open top, which the only other one I know of is used on the Cardiff Bay car. But yeah, if you come up to the Needles, make sure you come a bit earlier in the winter because the attractions do shut early, as I've found out myself just now. And or just come in the summer when the weather's a bit nicer. But yeah, if you want to ride the 7s, the other route that comes up here is the number 12. But we'll touch that in another episode. Hopefully it'll be a bit less windy. But let's head back to Newport, shall we?
Is this Faf de Klerk?
Finally, we jump back on the Route 1 to head back to Cowes before unfortunately we have to head back on the mainland. This is the one that goes via Roundhouse, which is slightly quicker by about 10 minutes, but obviously this all can depend on traffic. Now, it's really nice doing these nighttime runs, and it's one of the things I do love about the winter, being able to film these at a suitable time without having to stay out late and possibly missing a bus. But obviously in the daytime you can see more, but sometimes it is just nice to go on these country routes, well, semi-country routes during the night time. Coming up on our left now is just where we turn off, and to the right is where the bus route will continue if you're going via Park and Ride. But it is a nice run, and I'll stop waffling on, and I'll see you when we get back to Cowes. Had a lovely day here on the island today. Currently at the West Cowes Redjet Terminal. We're about to head off home, but if you have enjoyed today's episode, why not check out the link in the description for the rest of Series 2 or even the complete Series 1. But I've been Aaron as Jack, and I hope you've enjoyed me as I've gone on the more buses. But anyway, I better go catch my ferry, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Cheerio!
There's always gay life on the buses. Make sure you leave your bird at home. You'll see so many on the buses. You won't be sitting on your own. It's so romantic on the buses. You'll find it thrilling when you ride, and you can get it on the buses, upstairs or down inside. Oh, it's a great life on the buses, no matter what the time of day. You'll see the world on omnibuses. We're on our way.
It's a nice crisp morning here in Bournemouth Square. We're doing the 16s, 17s and 18s today. We've got the 16 behind me, 264, Blakey's driving today. He's behind me somewhere. But join me as we go on the more buses on the 16, 17 and 18. Roll the intro. Leaving Bournemouth now on our first run of the day, we head up towards Westbourne on the 16 before we turn off down towards Talbot, Alder Hills, the Bourne Estate, and then finally near Alderney and then into Poole via Seaview. Now with this one we do go through Westbourne as like most routes do out of Bournemouth towards Poole. I think the only exception to that rule is the 17 when it goes the other way round, but we'll get onto that a little bit later on. Now we're currently at the County Gates roundabout. A fun fact about the LV building, quite a few years ago now, maybe even decades ago, it actually used to be a bus station, as this is where the original border between Dorset and Hampshire was. See, for a long time Bournemouth wasn't actually in Dorset, it was in Hampshire. It wasn't until, I believe, the 80s that the borders actually changed and Bournemouth finally became part of Dorset. Now we're heading down towards Alder Hills now. We turn right just up here, go a little bit on the back roads before joining the main road again, turning off just as we get to the McDonald's to head back onto Alderney, where we join up with the 17, and that's where this time lapse will end. Then we'll cut to Poole before we come back out on the 17.
So we're currently here at M Stand, which is the full end of the 16-17's turnaround. Buses here about every 15 minutes Monday to Friday, the same on a Saturday and every half hour on a Sunday. Today's bus from the 16-17 is 2264, an Eclipse 2. We'll have one of them on the 18s later, but for now we're going to jump back on, go back to Bournemouth, and then we'll go for a ride on the 18 to Broadstone.
Now we head back towards Bournemouth, this time on the 17 out of Poole bus station. We'll apologise in advance, the sun does glare a lot, but that's not much I can do with winter sun, unfortunately. But as we leave Poole, we head up towards Seaview, then we shoot down to Alderney, past St Albans Academy, back down onto the Bourne Estate, where instead of going around the bottom end through Alder Hills like the 16 does, we turn right and then go through the top end, follow it all the way through past the Sainsbury's and then up to Wallasdown University, then to Winton Banks, Bournemouth Station, and then finally into Bournemouth. Now it was quite busy as this was a morning service, just as the rush hour was peaking, but the ride on the 17 is very good. If you want to have a different way into Bournemouth, I do recommend it, but try avoiding it at the peak times, because obviously it's with the university, there's a lot of students that get on and use this as their regular way to get to uni, and it can get quite congested, especially between the university and Bournemouth Station. But other than that, it's a very solid route. The frequencies were I mentioned earlier, but if you want all the fare information, it will come later on in the video when we get up to Broadstone on the 18. But if you don't stick around that long, just so you all know, it's all in Fare Zone A, and all the standard Fare Zone A tickets apply here. Tap on, tap off also does apply. But if you do have Zone AB, ABC tickets, obviously you can still use them as they are valid in Zone A. Now just to our left is where the 16 would go, but as you can see, we go up here, up back to the main road, where we then turn left and then go left again down through Alder Hills to Sainsbury's and up to the Wallasdown roundabout, where we did get stuck for quite a while at Wallasdown, and you'll see Blakey's quote to why the doors kept opening and closing in a short while, but I'll leave you guys to enjoy the rest of the time lapse.
And last but not least, we head out on the 18 towards Broadstone, which from Bournemouth is a straight shot down through Westbourne, Upper Parkstone. Seaview is where we turn off the route, down where the 17 goes, and it's then turning right at the traffic lights, we turn left. Then we join the 32 route as we go round through Oakdale, Foxholes, before turning right onto Camford past the Pilot, and we loop round Camford Heath before heading into Broadstone. Now it's quite a long route on the 18, but it's a nice route. You can see it actually go from day to night on this one if you pay attention. But yeah, it's a nice long route, and I shall leave you guys again to enjoy the time lapse. See you in Broadstone. One little side note I'll mention as we come through here, we are actually about to join back onto the 25 and 26 route, which will be covered in a future episode. And one thing I forgot to mention earlier about this route is it's actually an ex-Yellow Buses route, so it's one of those council required routes. It was done by Yellow Buses before, then it went over to Zila when they took over the 1833 and 36, but now it's run under Moorbus instead of another company, so you can catch them all on one ticket, which is amazing. As when Zila were in charge, they had an all-day ticket, which I believe was £5.20, but that only covered 3 routes, and they didn't run on Sundays, which wasn't exactly a good idea, but hey ho. Yeah, we're coming round through to the Camford Heath Asda now. It's a smaller Asda than say the ones we'll find at Castle Point, at Bournemouth and Hull. But it serves the community well. As I said again, enjoy the rest of the time lapse.
So we're here at the other end of the route, Broadstone, come all the way from North, as we've seen in the time lapse shortly. So, frequencies for this route now, since Moorbus have taken it over, Monday to Saturday they do run every half hourly, and then during school terms there is a bit of a break in the services where some of them terminate at Parkstone Grammar School. On a Sunday they run for 2 hours, on Monday to Saturday you'll find 4 buses on the line, usually single deckers, but on the weekdays there are some deckers, I've seen them. But fare information for today's episode will appear on the side of the bus, as we are in fare zone A, so you will just need a fare zone A ticket. Obviously tap on, tap off is still available on these services indefinitely. But again, if you want more information, click for the Moorbus website or download the Moorbus app for more information, timetables, and just general ticket information. But I'm going to hop on through the rest of the route and see when we get back to the square.
Well, it's been a good day travelling 16s, 17s and 18s. I'm Ed Nope. So if you have enjoyed this video, why not check out the others on the playlist, all of Season 2 and the complete Season 1. But I've been Aaron as Chad, and I hope you've enjoyed as I've gone on the more buses. I think my stop's next, so see you later.
There's always gay life on the buses. Make sure you leave your bird at home. You'll see so many on the buses. You won't be sitting on your own. It's so romantic on the buses. You'll find it thrilling when you ride. And you can get it on the buses, upstairs or down inside. Oh, it's a great life on the buses, no matter what the time of day. You'll see the world on omnibuses. We're on our way.
We're doing something a bit different today. We're going to turn back the clock. We're going to take you all the way back to 2007 and do an original Yellow Buses route in the only bus that served 25 years at one company. So instead of going on the more buses, join me today as we go on the Yellow Buses. I'm Aaron Jack, we've got Butler driving today, and we'll see you out on the road. Roll the intro. Changed the route up a little bit. We've gone a bit further on in the timeline for Yellows because we're doing the 2B all the way to Alan Chine. There was a short stint of time where it did this along with the 2A, but today we're doing it on the 2B route. So leaving here, we'll go through West Howe, where the 36 now goes up to Moore Avenue. Then from there, we go to Cunningham Crescent, Kinston Road, then onto Columbia Road, Red Hill, bottom end of Winton. Then we go up Castle Lane, Castle Point, Townsend, Bournemouth Hospital, Eyford, Boscombe Bus Station, Holderness Road, Bournemouth Railway Station, Bournemouth Town Centre. Then we follow round into Alan Chine, along a bit of the 70s and 80s. We'll see a few of the more buses along the way on the time lapse, which you'll see. We'll stop at various points to have a quick look around the bus. But yeah, let's hop back on and we'll see you at the Chine.
A bit of old timetabling information for you. Unfortunately, I was only able to get a hold of the winter timetable for 2008, the Monday to Friday one to be exact, and only going in one direction from Jervis Place in Bournemouth Square, stand M to Kinston. Now, the first bus in the morning for that direction on a Monday to Friday was the 6:30 departure off of Boscombe Bus Station to Kinston, which was a 2B, and the last departure, which was a 2C, was the 11:20 departure from Bournemouth Square to Castle Point. Now back in the day you had the 2A, B and C. The route we're doing today is the 2B. The 2A does follow a similar route to the 2B, the only difference being when it leaves Kinston it follows up where the 14 now goes up to Redhill and rejoins us, and the 2C only does the section between Castle Point and Bournemouth, skipping out Townsend, as it was the only one that didn't serve Townsend during the day. But all of them didn't serve Townsend after the 6 o'clock departure 2A off of Bournemouth Square. After that, instead of going around Townsend, they all just went straight down Castle Lane. Now the 2Bs ran every hour, so did the 2As, with the 2C being every half hour. 2A never ran on a Sunday, if my memory serves me correctly, and when the buses got to Kinston, a 2A would go back out as a 2B, and a 2B would go back out as a 2A. Now, first bus for the 2B in the morning, as I said, was the 6:30 off of Boscombe bus station, and the last one being the 10 to 11 off of Bournemouth Square, which got you into Kinston for a final time of 12:15. And the first 2A was the 7:30 departure off of Castle Point, getting you into Kinston for 7 minutes to wait, and the last one being 6 o'clock off of the square, getting you to Kinston for 7:03. The first 2C in the morning was the 25 to 8 from Bournemouth Square, getting you to Castle Point for 8:11, and the last one in the evening was the 20:11, getting you to Castle Point for a final time of 12 minutes to 12. But I'm going to quit waffling on now. But a little bit more before I go, we're just coming up to Castle Point now. When we go through the next set of traffic lights, you'll see the Mallard Road depot on the right hand side, which was this bus's original depot. Obviously 208 being brand new when it first went there. It saw both the Yellows depots, Mallard Road, and the depot round at Yeoman's Way, as it was the longest serving yellow bus, with a total of 25 years under its belt before final withdrawal. But yeah, we're going around the Townsend loop now. It must have been very confusing for the residents of Townsend seeing a yellow bus go around again after about a year and a half. But it's nice seeing that dash of yellow trundling along the old route. But as I said, I've waffled on enough. We'll see you when we get to Boscombe bus station.
Here in Boscombe bus station, it's a little bit different to when these buses used to serve this stop. There used to be 3 stands instead of the 2 that there are now. So I remember seeing these on the 2B when I was younger, and I actually used to catch the 2B here to school, the half 7 departure. Usually at Trident by that point, but same thing. But I'm going to touch the doors wrong again, so I'm going to hop back up. See you at the next stop.
Little bit of information about this stretch of route. This is also operated by Transpora with the number 2, and today they were actually running one of the ex-yellow buses. It's been nicknamed Fleur. You'll see it just as we pass the next set of traffic lights, just there. If you do want to see a video looking at that route in a bit more detail, let me know in the comments, and maybe we'll give it a ride. But apart from that, let's get back on with it, shall we?
something you don't see every day anymore. It's a yellow bus in Bournemouth Town Centre. We're only about a year and a half out of date, but it's a nice run out. We're on the only stand that's available. If we were doing it properly, we would be down in the further stand or across the road, right at the end of O stand for the 2B. But the prices for these buses was, for an all day, for an adult, it was £3.30, £2 for a child all day, and only £8 for a group day ticket. You also had other specific tickets for the 1As, Bs and Cs on yellows. And the timetables for the 2B, they were every hour, so with the 2A, and you also had at the time the 2C, which only did a shuttle service between Castle Point and Bournemouth. Now, for a lot of the time, the 2B and 2As did terminate here in Bournemouth Square, but we're going to go a little bit forward in time. So I think it was about 2011. We're going to go a bit forward to now and continue on down to Alum Chine with the 2B. But that's all I've got to say for Bournemouth Square. The 1A is going out, it's 2010. A little bit of a link. Can't remember which side it'll appear on. We've got the 18 coming in. But yeah, Bournemouth Square used to look a lot better when it was filled with yellow, but even now, we can still add a bit of yellow back to the square. But let's go back on, shall we? So we're here finally at Alum Chine. This thing does look lovely just sat here, doesn't it? But yeah, it's been a nice adventure today. I'll take you for a quick trip inside the bus and then I think we'll wrap up today. But it's been a lovely trip down here to Alum Chine. It's seeing a yellow bus back in Bournemouth is something special. Obviously, if you want to find out more about the buses in the Hanson Bournemouth group, I'll leave a link in the description below to the Facebook group, and you can see all the other buses that they've got. And they do go out on running days, so like Bournemouth Bus Rally, or if you've seen the Buses to the Bill special on the More buses, they were there as well with this bus. But we're going to have a quick look inside and see you later. So with these old city buses, they were step entrance, and just under this little thing here is a definite bit of Bournemouth history, is the yellow buzz cards. Now they were good until they bent slightly. That'd be little Arthur being noisy. Yeah, inside you've got a luggage rack, a space for folded up buggies. And you can see here the nice arrangement. It's a bit of a low headroom on these, but that is because they are higher floored vehicles. And obviously you've got the lovely old city bus maquette, and then you've got the other yellow bus maquette underneath. Bells for the downstairs. Strip bells, it won't sound because the electric's turned off. But you have got a lovely view going that way. Sorry about the music in the background, that's one of my playlists. And then if you come upstairs, the stairs are a bit steeper than most buses that are in the current fleet, but they are manageable. So you've got the nice two front seats. On the side of the seats by the stairs, you have armrests, and then we go all the way back down to the back of the bus, again with the strip bells like we do have on the bottom deck. Now, if you saw the weekend on the buses video before we started on the More buses, we have Transdev decals like on 474, which is another bus in this group. But yeah, it is an absolutely lovely bus. And I think that's all for today. I've been Aaron as Jack. We've had Butler driving, even though you've probably only seen him on his driving bits. But I hope to see you all in the new year, or just after Christmas, depends if there's another episode going up, as we go on more routes on the More buses. But today, we've been on the yellow buses, so I hope to see you all in the next one. Cheerio.
There's always gay life on the buses. Make sure you leave your bird at home. You'll see so many on the buses. You won't be sitting on your own. It's so romantic on the buses. You'll find it thrilling when you ride, and you can get it on the buses, upstairs or down.
So we're here in Salisbury again today. We're at the Peters Fingers Park and Ride. We've got the PR15 behind us, and join us as we ride some of the park and ride routes here in Salisbury and go on the Moor buses. I'm Aaron, it's Jack. We've got Blakey driving today. He won't be on camera, but he's still here. We've got Butler here as well, and got a nice little cameo from little Arthur as he's going to show you what he's got on. He's got a new bit of merch, but anyway, let's hop on the bus and roll the intro. Kicking off today's episode, we have the PR15 from Peters Fingers Park and Ride to Milford Street in Salisbury City Centre. Now the traffic today here was absolutely horrendous. All the buses were running about half an hour late, but the timings for these are every half hour, so from Peters Fingers Park and Ride they leave at every 10 past and every 22 the hour, and if you're heading from Salisbury City Centre and Milford Street, they're every 25 past and 5 to the hour. Now, usually this takes about 10 minutes, but for us it took about 20 due to the traffic. As you can see, it is absolutely chocker. But the bus we had today is a very nice bus. I'll go a little bit more into it when we get back to Salisbury. Just gone down the little bypass bit and we head back in via Exeter Street. You can see the other bus in front of us, but... oh no, wait, that was the R14. Anyway, see you when we get back to Milford Street. So we've just come off the PR15 from Peters Finger back into Salisbury City Centre. We're about to go on the PR9 up to Britford, which, if memory serves me correctly, is the one that is on the X3. We'll get into the X3 in a future episode, hopefully. It's a decent bus with not one of the ADLs. But we're actually running quite late today. I'll put the timetable information in the description below. I'll give you the fare information when we get up to Britford. Yeah, PR9, we've got a nice electric E200 MMC. So it's an EV. Tell you what, nippy on the first go, but a bit sluggish later on. But I better jump back on. See you at Britford. Another short little run as we exit Salisbury, going towards Exeter Street. Then we shoot up the same way as the X3 and the R1 do, but instead of heading up towards Odstock Hospital, we turn left past the BP garage and down towards Britford Park and Ride. Nice little short route, but not really much more I can say about it really. Short and sweet. So here up at Britford Park and Ride, which is the end of the PR9. Fare information for today: if you're just catching the Park and Ride buses, it is a £3 return. If not, you can get the Salisbury Day ticket. And if you're travelling up from Bournemouth or Poole, you want the Zone A, B, C ticket. He's giving a funny look. I better get back on, but we'll see you on the next one. Don't know what we're doing yet, but let's hop back on the PR9, shall we? So we're in Castle Street, stop K for our final run of the day. We're going on the PR7. We've got Ashley here with me, showing off. What are you showing off, Ashley? Your high vis? Yeah! If Ashley turns around, we've got the first official on the Moor buses high vis. This one's currently got the original Wilson Dorset branded one. It's for staff only, so unfortunately it won't be going on sale. Maybe one day there'll be a merch drop in the far future, won't there, Ashley? Yeah. Right, so we're going to go on the next bus? Yeah. We're going to go on the next bus, and after that we'll wrap up the episode. So we'll see you on the PR7.
Can I get it closer?
Going from Hampton Park back towards New Canal on the PR7 at certain times of the day, and on Sundays this actually becomes just the R7, and I think it's after 7:10 it does turn into the R2 does come up this far instead of just doing its little Bishopstown loop like we saw in the previous episode the previous Salisbury episode, shall we say. Now, bus frequencies on these routes are quite frequent. They're every half an hour in each direction, and that's Monday to Friday. The first one leaving Hampton Pierce Way at 6:59, and the last one going at 7:10, and in the other direction towards Bishopstown Farm from Salisbury City Centre, Castle Street Stand K, your first one is at 6:48 in the morning, whereas your last one is the 7 o'clock departure. But yeah, we're now coming back in towards New Canal, where we'll head on our final run of the day. And I just want to say before we go on to the next one, very happy new year from everyone here on the More Buses. See you in a second.
So a bit of a change of plan. We're actually going to stay and do the PR3, making this the first episode of the series to have 4 routes in one. The bus we've got for this route is as well as the one we had before, 2719, an E200 Classic. Now this one was actually ordered for Salisbury by GSC, unlike the ones that we had back in Bournemouth, which were originally Vectors, then Salisbury, then here. But we're going to hop on, go for a ride to Bulbridge. Enjoy the time lapse.
For the fourth and final route for today, we leave Salisbury New Canal as we head up towards Wilton Park and Ride, Wilton Marketplace, Bulbridge, Chancery Road and Bulbridge Seagrim Road. Now there are a few services during the day that do extend onto Ditchampton, but unfortunately this was not one of them, and much like the PR7 on Sundays, this just turns into the R3. Now with this being the last one of the night, obviously it got really dark really quickly, so I do apologise for the lens flare that you see when you see headlights, traffic lights or street lights. It's something I can't help, but I do try my best to negate it. That's why most of our videos are shot during the day. But yeah, this will be the last episode of On the More Buses for 2023. There will be another episode coming very soon in the new year. We'll be back in Bournemouth for the next one. We'll be going on a nice trip to Wimborne, but that's all I'm going to say. There's a couple of routes that could be, so I'll leave that one up for you to decide. We're now running parallel with the main line towards Bristol, I believe, as we come up towards Wilton. Now, this was operated originally by, I believe it was Stagecoach, that owned the Park and Ride services that ran up here until Go South Coast and Wilson Dorset bought them out. Now the Park and Ride up here, if you can just see the signage on the left, it is the old Wiltshire Salisbury Reds Park and Ride lettering. But we're going back towards Wilton now, and I'll stop hammering on before I get even more tongue-tied. Enjoy the nice nighttime running. See you at the end. So it's the end of the day. We're going to hop back on the PR3 in a minute, go back towards Salisbury. then we're probably going to head home. It's been a good day going around on Park and Rides in Salisbury. We've got a few more to knock out in a future episode, but I've been Aaron as Jack, and I hope you've enjoyed this episode of On the Moor Buses. See you in the next one.
But when the traffic jams and rushes, there's little else to do. There's always gay life on the buses. Make sure you leave your bird at home. You'll see so many on the buses. You won't be sitting on your own. It's so romantic on the buses. You'll find it thrilling when you ride, and you can get it on the buses, upstairs or down inside. Oh, it's a great life on the buses, no matter what the time of day. You'll see the world on omnibuses. We're on our way.
As you can see with the water behind me, we're actually in Southampton today, as we're going to go on a short journey on the 17, bit of a spur of the moment, so it's just myself today. So join me as Aaron as Jack as we go on the Moor Buses in Southampton. Roll the intro. Welcome to today's episode of On the Moor Buses. We had a bit of a spur of the moment sort of thing when it came to this episode, so we're just going for a short ride on the 17 from Southampton city centre out to Weston and back again. Now the full route does go all the way to Old Nook Park, and we will cover it in a future episode of On the Moor Buses. This was actually supposed to be the Key Connect episode, but I kept missing the Key Connect, so 17 was in, thought why not, and jumped on. For the first half we have a nice E400 Classic dual door variant, which most of the buses in Southampton are dual door for the deckers, but pretty much all of the single deckers are standard single doors. Now this route actually used to be operated by First Bus in part of the City Reds as the number 11, and is actually one of my old bus routes when I lived in Southampton for the time. And since then the route has increased in frequency, being every 10 minutes instead of every half an hour, but that's all thanks to Blue Star taking over. I'm about to hop off now, see you on the next one. Right, so fair information for today. Using my phone is a bit of a cheat. So if you want to get an adult all day here on Blue Star, it's £4.20, £3.40 for a child, and a group ticket is £8.50. Prices will as always appear next to me. And if you are travelling up from Bournemouth, like in the Salisbury Reds episode, you will need a Zone ABC ticket. And to get here from Bournemouth, you either need to go via Salisbury on the X3 and X7, or via Lymington using the X1, X2, and then the number 6. We're going to hop on the bus now. See you in Southampton. Heading back towards Southampton, we go from Weston Barnfield Road, then to Winchfield Close, Weston International Way, Woolston Bridge Link, Southampton West Quay, which is the one we actually do skip out, instead going straight round to Southampton Vincent's Walk. This is because there is still a temporary diversion on the day of filming because of the Christmas Day the Christmas market, but as time of recording the voiceover for this, I believe it has stopped. But yeah, it is so much nicer being on a Blue Star bus, because when I used to ride them on first, unfortunately it's when the street lights started coming in, but there was a little shuttle service from Western Estate to Woolston that went along the back roads, which was usually run by a ALX 400 Trident. Don't know what will happen to it, but yeah, as we go through, we are now coming into Woolston itself. We come on the one-way system before heading up to the bridge link, then across the bridge and back into Southampton. I'm sorry for this video being a little bit short. It was a spur of the moment thing. I just thought I'd get a nice little Blue Star episode out. Now we just have Danbury to go, and then we've got pretty much all the GSC bits. The only other one is Swindon Bus, but that will come at a later time and will come under the Holidays brand as it is a bit too far away. But yeah, we're coming back into Southampton now. I'll stop waffling on, enjoy the last little bit of the trip.
Well, it's been a nice time up here in Southampton. Sorry it's only a short one, but way to start off the new year with a little bit of star action. And from everyone here on the Moor buses and the local shed, just want to wish you all a very happy new year, and I hope to see you all in the next episode of On the Moor buses, which is the 18th. Maybe that'll come in a future route. 17's behind it. I'm going to head home now, so I'll see you all in the next one. Here comes the DOE.
There's always gay life on the buses. Make sure you leave your bird at home. You'll see so many on the buses. You won't be sitting on your own. It's so romantic on the buses. You'll find it thrilling when you ride, and you can get it on the buses, upstairs or down inside. Oh, it's a great life on the buses, no matter what the time of day. You'll see the world on omnibuses. We're on our way.
We're in Portsmouth today, fresh off the heels of a British Rail adventure, as we're going to go for a nice holidays on the Moor buses. The first one of season 2, as we ride First Solent's X4 from Portsmouth to Southampton. I'm Aaron as Jack, we've got Butler behind the camera, and join me as we go on the Moor buses. Cue the music.
Leaving the Portsmouth Harbour interchange here on the X4, we embark on our near 2.5 hour journey towards Southampton, taking us via Portsmouth International Port, Porchester Gosport Bus Station, Stokes Bay Sailing Club, the Fareham College and Fareham Bus Station, over the Titchfield Bypass, through Bursledon, Sholing, Bridgelink, Westgate, and then finally towards the station at Southampton. Now we are doing a bit of a side view today because we couldn't get the front of the bus at the luggage rack, which is understandable. We don't expect to get it, but it's nice when it happens. But hey ho, you still get to see where the route goes. Now the bus we are travelling on today is a Wright Streetlight. Now I know these buses have a lot of criticisms and they're not very well loved by the bus community, but unfortunately there's always going to be that one bus that not everyone likes, and I am in the majority of I'm not a big fan of this type of bus. Now my personal experience, I found the seats are uncomfortable, the braking system's a bit hard, and they do accelerate rather sharply, so I think that's where most of its reputation comes from. Now we did used to have buses like this down in Bournemouth when Yellow Buses had them, up until about 2022, when the Yellow Bus brand went under. Now there'll be a picture of screen on the right hand side of your screen of a Streetlight in Yellow Buses livery. I think I have a branded one somewhere, so that should pop up on screen. And I'll also put on screen a picture of one I saw in Bromsgrove, which is an ex-Yellow Bus one, but it's now gone on to pastures new with Diamond Bus. Now the route today is a bit longer than the ones we usually do, so I'll let you sit back, relax and enjoy the ride. But before I go, these buses did used to operate in Southampton Town City Centre back when City Reds was around, but a lot of them were displaced. This is one that was actually part of the City Reds fleet but moved to First Solent. You can also find examples in Weymouth and some even as far as Wales. So when bus companies do go under, you'll never lose the buses completely, they'll just get moved around. But anyways, I'll digress and enjoy the rest of the time lapse. Fortunately you guys only have to watch it for around 9 or 10 minutes, whereas we had to sit on it for about 2.5 hours while filming. But anyway, enjoy the run. So we're here at Southampton Central now, which is the end of the X4s and X5s route. We'll cover the X5s in another episode. We would have filmed a bit more by the bus, but he was running late, so we had to head off. Fair information, I know it's £2 singles, tap on, tap off, like you have in Bournemouth, but there will be a link in the description below to the First Bus website where you can find all the fares, informations and anything you need. Now the X4s run every half an hour on Monday to Friday. I'm not too sure about the Saturday-Sunday timetable, but they seem to be pretty frequent. But as for today, I think that just about does it for today. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Holidays on the Moor Buses for the first Holidays episode of Season 2. And we shall see you in the next one. Cheerio. You join me here, we're back in Swanage. It's a nice crisp evening in February and we're going to do the Winter Timetables 40 for the second revisit of the series. So join me, Aaron and Jack, we've got Blakey driving today, and join me as we go on the Moor Buses. Roll the intro. So with this winter timetable, we are currently in the 22nd of October to 17th of March section of the timetable. So Monday to Friday, if you're travelling from the direction of Poole, your first bus from Poole will be the 7:20 Monday to Friday and the 8:20 on a Saturday, with your last bus leaving Poole bus station at 11:10. Whereas on a Sunday you have a bus every 2 hours, being the 10 being your first and your last one being the 8 at night. If you're coming from Swanage, however, your first bus is the 6 off of Swanage bus station, with your last one being the 10 o'clock. And on a Sunday, your first one is the 8:05, with the last one being the 6:05. Now, the fare information stays the same. It is still the Network ABC ticket, and all the prices will list down here. The only one I can remember offhand is the adult fare, which is a £10.50 day ticket. And it's £7.50 for a child, and the group, I'll add that obviously in here. And there's always links down below for further timetable information and prices. Now the bus we've got for today is 1702. It's a full cab Evo City. We're going to hop on back to Poole in a minute so you get a full time lapse, and we are doing night running today just to change things up a bit. But that's enough from me. Enjoy the route and we'll see you at Poole bus station. Leaving Swanage now, we head back towards Poole via Langton with Travers, Corfe Castle, Wareham, Sandford Holiday Park, Farmer Palmer's, Upton, and then finally into Poole bus station. Now, we weren't able to go on the diversion route that was in place due to roadworks at Steps Hill, so we are actually doing the full run up to Langton. However, just before the time of recording this video, there was a diversion in place where we went along the low road through Harman's Cross, and a little shuttle service was going up to Langton and Kingston with Travers. Now, it's nice to do some night running for a change rather than just running during the day. However, it does make these time-lapse sections rather dark. But here's the roadworks we were on about just now, but it's only on one side of the road so the buses can go through. Now, earlier in the day when I was on this route, we did go through a total of 4 sets of roadworks, with the worst one being in Corfe due to tree cutting, taking about 45 minutes to go from the bottom of the hill down towards the viaduct in Corfe. Now, that is a long time, but thankfully we were able to gain time further on during the day. Now, I'll stop waffling on and I'll just let you enjoy the night running session on this revisit of the 40, and see you in Poole. So we're back here at Poole Bus Station. It's the end of the run. We're going to head back off on an M1 to go home, but it's been a nice run doing a late running for a change instead of running during the day. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this revisit of the 40. I've been Aaron as Jack, and I hope to see you in the next episode of On the More Buses. See you later.
There's always gay life on the buses. Make sure you leave your bird at home. You'll see so many on the buses. You won't be sitting on your own. It's so romantic on the buses. You'll find it thrilling when you ride, and you can get it on the buses, upstairs or down inside. Oh, it's a great life on the buses, no matter what the time of day. You'll see the world on omnibuses. We're on our way.
So we're here at Bournemouth today. We were going to go on a... What were we doing? We were going to do an On the More Buses, weren't we, Ashley?
Yeah.
But today we found out what's on the rail replacement, so join us as we hunt Burrows Coaches ex-Yellow Bus as we go on the Yellow Buses. Ashley, what do you say?
Yes.
Roll the intro.
Why don't?
Roll the intro. Staying true to the 2B, 2 and 2A for a little bit, we did follow the route down from Bournemouth Station to Folkestone Station, with the only difference being we didn't serve Boscombe Bus Station. And then from Folkestone Station, which was our first stop, we did follow the 1A all the way to Christchurch before we deviated from that route and served Christchurch Station. The other stops we made along today's route were New Milton, Sway, Brockenhurst, Ashurst New Forest, Totton and finally Southampton Central. It was nice being back on this bus as I haven't been on it for quite some time, since it went out of service just before Yellows went under. I did little Arthur joining me. Sat in the same seat. I have a photo of him when he was little in. But it was nice being back. Like I said, it was nice being back on Phoebe. Burrows have done an amazing job keeping her in Yellow's colours, yellow interior, and downstairs, just by the stairs, she has got a little bit about her history at Yellow Buses, where she came from, and what route she did. Personally, I remember her most on the 5s, 5As, and the 1As, with the occasional run on the 2B, as I used to catch that route to school quite often from Boscombe down to the Bourne Academy. Now, obviously, coaches usually do this run, so a lot of people weren't expecting a yellow bus, but it was quite funny when we were still within the Bournemouth to New Milton section, seeing people trying to flag down thinking the bus was back in service. But I'll leave you to it for a little bit. We'll see you later in the time lapse. I think now is as good a time as any to talk about the bus a little bit. So, Phoebe is a 2003 East Lancs Viking with a Volvo B70L engine. She is a later model with cousin buses being 18, 12 and 13, currently with the Moorbus fleet. They are the open top variant, whereas Phoebe is the full closed version. She was with Yellow Buses from 2003 right up until the end in 2022, and was mainly used on the 5s, or from what I gather, the 1s, the 2s, and a lot of school runs. Judging from the interior, she did have a lot of school runs because there is a lot of scratch marks and everything from various schools. Now, at some point in her life, she did go through a bit of a refurbishment, with going from the original Yellow Bus interior with the blue and the patch seating. She did end up with the grey vinyl flooring and the leather and fabric seating that she has now. She still runs and sounds as best as she ever has, and it is really nice that companies like Burrows are letting these buses live on with a second lease of life and keeping them in their original colours while paying homage to their new company and their history. Looks like we're coming into New Milton now. I'm not sure if there's much more I can talk about on this time lapse, so I'll let you enjoy our nice mystery tour through the forest on the way to Sway and Brockenhurst. We'll see you at Southampton Central. So we're here at Southampton Central. You can see Phoebe behind us. She did have 1A Bournemouth on the blind a minute ago, but she's back to rail replacement. But that is unfortunately the end of today's episode. We've had a lovely trip, haven't we, Ashley?
Yes!
And although this episode is ending, the next episode will be starting very soon, and it will be the 3s and 4s from Poole to Wimborne, and then following soon the 8s and 9s very shortly after. You might even get a blue star in between, and we've got something a little bit special coming up at the beginning of next month. So I've been Aaron as Jack, we've had Ashley as Little Arthur, and we've had the star of the show, 427, better known as Phoebe. But until next time, we'll see you on the More Buses. See you later.
There's always gay life on the buses. Make sure you leave your bird at home. You'll see so many on the buses. You won't be sitting on your own. It's so romantic on the buses. You'll find it thrilling when you ride. And you can get it on the buses, upstairs or down inside. Oh, it's a great life on the buses, no matter what the time of day. You'll see the world on omnibuses. We're on our way.
You join me on a very wet, miserable, and well, the wind died down a bit, but still was pretty windy today. Now, we were originally meant to go from Bournemouth and go and do the Greenford branch today, but because of the weather conditions, the overhead wires on the Great Western Main Line are down. So instead, we are going to revive an old Conic South Central route, and we're going to go to Bournemouth to Victoria via Brighton. I'm your presenter Aaron, and join me as we go on yet another British Rail adventure. Roll the intro. That's right, April Fools, we're not getting the train today, we're actually getting the National Express. We do the 035 all the way from Bournemouth to Victoria. We'll see you in London.
Yeah, there's someone in it. Not yet.
So, what can I say? We're on the National Express today, and we're going to London. Now, this coach did start all the way in Poole, but we are doing the short journey from Bournemouth to London Victoria. Now, sometimes there are stops along the way, but this one did only call at Hammersmith and London Victoria. Now, the coach we have got is nice and comfortable. It is a Levante 3. We managed to get the front seats. And yeah, a pretty nice journey. There was a bit of traffic, but well, that's to be expected during rush hour. The only thing I will say though is seats are a bit too low down if you're tall like me, but anyone else you should be fine. They are relatively comfy. You do get USB chargers, Wi-Fi. There is a toilet at the back of the coach that is able to be used. But yeah, it's generally a nice ride. The ticket information for this, it did cost me, I think it was £40.60 for my return to London for the day, but that will vary depending on which journey you take and how far in advance and what type of ticket you'll book. So you can book a standard return on the 7:20 from Bournemouth and returning on the 6 o'clock from Victoria. Standard should be about £40.60. And value for money is good. It is cheaper than the train, but as someone who likes trains and buses, and I do like coaches, but more the classic ones. I'm not a big fan of getting coaches. I would rather choose the train over this just because of the scenery, and there's a bit more legroom and comfort. And if I need to, I can get up and stretch my legs, whereas on a coach, you're stuck in the seat. So if you're stuck in traffic for hours, it can get a bit tedious, but as I said, everyone has their preference and it's the cheaper alternative, so if you're on a budget and you want to travel far, by all means, use the coach. It's fantastic. But obviously if you have a bit more, it's a short journey, use the train. The section we're on now is by far the most scenic section of the journey, as we're currently on the A31 going through the New Forest. We're about to join the M27 where it changes up at junction 1 for Cadnam. Over Powner Hill now, but yeah, we do also go past, well, we go on to the M3 after the M27, turning off at junction 4, then we travel up to the M25 where we go round and then join the M4 before heading back into London. Now we do go past Heathrow, we will see Heathrow, and we do go past Thorpe Park, so they're the two major landmarks on this journey. And like I said, we do stop at Hammersmith, and if you are looking out of the coach, you can see the underground line, suburban lines as you enter London. You also get a nice, even though far away view of Wembley, and obviously anything else that's on the road, past the Blue Star. I wouldn't be able to do that route, unfortunately. That it was a school run, but maybe we'll come back up for another Blue Star eventually. I did say I would in a previous video, but the journey itself, we didn't hit too much traffic. It was just mainly by Bournemouth and in London. But we do come into the Victoria arrival section, and you will see all the different types of London buses and the other coaches there. And one that you may see in the future was the Oxford Tube. Now, after I filmed this, I did manage to actually get a go on the Oxford Tube, and their double-decker coaches are actually quite comfortable. Especially if you get the front seat upstairs, you get plenty of legroom. Maybe a future video, but we shall see. For now, we're going to continue to London, and I'll stop jabbering on, and I'll let you enjoy the time lapse.
we're here at the other end. Victoria arrivals are just behind me. There's a Flixbus coming in as well. Hope you have enjoyed this episode.
And that's one more major terminus we can tick off the list for British Rail Adventures. Now doing Bournemouth to Victoria via Brighton. Hope you have enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you all very soon for the next British Rail Adventures. Until then, see you later.
We're doing something a bit special today. We're here at Heathrow, well, parking B, we're going to parking A, as we do the Heathrow pods. Not quite a bus, but when in London, you've got to do this different things. So join me, Aaron as Jack. We've got Blakey and Butler here in the pod, but they're going to stay off camera today. So join us as we do holidays on the Moor buses on a pod. Roll the intro.
There really isn't much to say about the pods and their journey. They just go from Heathrow Terminal 5 down to parking A or B, and if you were lucky enough, like I was on the day that I went down, the flight path for landing came right over the pod track. You'll see a couple planes in the next time lapse. You can see some buses passing me there and a National Express. But yeah, there really isn't much to say about these apart from they're a lot of fun. And you don't have to worry about step-free access or anything because they are level boarding at both ends, so they are disabled friendly. And they're very easy to use, very comfortable to ride on, a bit bumpy, but it's still fun. And see here we're coming into parking A, or was it B? It was one of the two. But yeah, there's a little extra loop there for when there's a jam, but they're very efficient. There's always enough running.
So the fare information for this journey, well, there isn't a fare. The Heathrow pods are actually free to use if you're travelling obviously between Heathrow Terminal or stations A and B. There's also no timetable. They run 24 hours a day as far as I'm aware, or just when the airport's open, and you just control when you want to go. We're going to watch one of them leave now because Butler and Blakey are off back to the terminal. I'll follow along in a minute and you'll get the time lapse back to the terminal. But we'll watch them go off and we'll probably see some planes while we're here. Now, as I said, you operate these yourselves. The interface is quite easy. Tap the screen here. So you want to go, we're at A, so it'll give you the option for Terminal 5 or Station B. We want to go to Terminal 5. our pod will open. Then we just go inside. Pods are nice and roomy. Then you have a closed door button. You press that. And then as soon as you're ready, you press the start button. And you're off.
You're going to Terminal 5.
See you at Terminal 5. So we're now coming to the end of our journey. We are coming into Terminal 5 now. And yeah, these are really nice. They're a lot of fun to ride, to be honest. So even if you're just coming in a plane spot, train spot, bus spot, whatever, come and have a ride on the Heathrow pods. And until next time, I've been Aaron as Jack, and we'll see you in the next On the More Buses. So we're here in Poole again today. We're going to go off on the 3, 4, and we're going to do the 8, which is basically just the 9 in reverse. So we're going to count the 9s in this one as well. So join me, Aaron as Jack. We're just coming round by Poole Depot, so I'll give a quick spin round so you can see. Ooh, now there's some stars of the summer. Do you remember the Geminis? They were fun, weren't they? Yeah, join me as we go on the More Buses. Roll the intro.
As we head out to Wimborne on the 4 from Poole bus station, we head via Creekmore, but first we stop at Fleetsbridge before calling at Broadstone, Merley before we enter into Wimborne. Now this is a nice little run, it does get fairly busy, but we were lucky enough to have a nice quiet Volvo with a Eclipse 2, with Blakey driving of course. It was a busy run, but the buses are usually either Volvos or you'll get a Scania Omnidecker on this. Not Omnidecker, an Omnicity I should say. And of course there's a roadworks at the Toby Carvery on the day we were filming, but it is a very handy bus journey. Turn left here and now we head up towards Creekmore, but I haven't really got much to say about this route, so I'll just let you enjoy the time lapse. We'll see you in Wimborne.
So we're down here in Wimborne at the other end. We've come in on 22.54 today, doing the 4. We're going to go back out and do the 3. Now, to get information for today's group with 3 and 4, we are in zone AB, so you will need an AB ticket. For an adult, it is £7.30. For a child, it is £5.30, I believe. Obviously, it will come up on screen here. If I am wrong, then it will correct me. Group tickets, I can't remember the price, but that will also appear on screen. Tap on, tap off is still available on this service, and your frequencies, if I am correct, we'll just get up the Moorbus app. Another good way for getting your tickets is on the Moorbus app just here. Obviously, tickets can be slightly cheaper on here, with the AB ticket being only £7. Oh, it's the same price, so £7.30 for an AB on the app. The group AB is £18. And with the timetabling today, if we just go onto the app here, click on timetables, so you can get all of your information on here. Also, you can see which routes I've got favorited, just a little bit of insight. So for the 3s and 4s, the 4 is so they are every half hour to Monday to Friday, same with the 3, and you also have 1 or 2, I think 3X journeys. Obviously that will appear on screen as well, along with the maps. But that's about time for what we have to do here in Wimborne. We're going to hop back on, go to Poole on the 3, and then we might do one more route a bit later on.
And now we head back towards Poole bus station on the 3. Again, nice quiet run this one. I haven't really got much to say about this, again, because these are routes I rarely often travel on. But it was nice doing a bit of change of pace with this route. We do cross over with quite a few schools, so if you're getting on this around school time, please be aware that this route will probably get very busy. And we go the nice countryway out of Wimborne, which is always nice to see, as usually we head over the main road bridge and down the main road. Currently we are going around the back way through Corfmullen as we head towards Broadstone before we head straight down and back in towards Poole. Now we do go via Fleets Bridge as well, but we go on a slightly different route into Poole than the 4 does leaving, but that's what you'll see later on in the time lapse. Now, one thing I do remember, I was having a discussion with Blakey about this when we were on the journey. Back when we were both growing up, it would have been stuff like Solos, the odd Skipper, or an Excel on these routes, and then when they came in for a short time, the Sataros. And it would have been a nice mixture of the fleet on these routes, as they got quite busy, they could be quiet, so you never know what was going to pull up on these back in the early to late 2000s. You'd have even seen the odd Spectra or VR on this route, with the occasional Olympian. And then finally, when they came in, you would have had of course the Omni-Cities and the ADL 400 Classics. But I digress. Enjoy the rest of the time lapse, and we'll see you back at Poole bus station.
So we've had a good day, been all the way out to Wimborne, we've done both routes free from Poole. The only one we have to do at another point is the 3X, but Maybe one day, because it only runs certain times. But hope you've all enjoyed this episode of On the More Buses, and I'll see you in the next one. Ta-ra!
There's always gay life on the buses. Make sure you leave your bird at home. You'll see so many on the buses. You won't be sitting on your own. It's so romantic on the buses. You'll find it thrilling when you ride. And you can get it on the buses, upstairs or down inside. Oh, it's a great life on the buses, no matter what the time of day. You'll see the world on omnibuses. We're on our way.
So we're here at Bournemouth Station today. We're doing a bit of a revisit as we go on the M1s. But first we're going to go down to the hospital, then back up to the pool. And we've got something a bit different happening in this episode. But without further ado, I'm Aaron as Jack. We've got Butler behind the camera, and we're going to be on Blakey's bus today. So join me and the rest of us as we go on the More Buses. Roll the intro. So we're here at Bournemouth Hospital. We've got 1412 behind us. Blakey's off having a break. So information for this one, obviously I have done an episode on the M1s before. Be a link just popping up here with the thumbnail, and then the link will appear at the top. Fair information, you just need a Zone A ticket or the M1, M2 ticket. Again, fair information is in the previous video, but there will be links down below, and it'll probably appear on screen now. So this is the bit we actually missed out. So we're here at Bournemouth Hospital. The connections for the M1 here, you've got the 1415, which will take you back towards Poole. It just goes avoiding the town instead of going through the town centre. You've also got the X1, X2 to Lymington, the X3 to Salisbury, along with the X6, which also goes to Ringwood, as well as the X3. But the X6 does continue to Westmoors, Ferndown, and then eventually goes to Poole. The other buses you have here are the 22, which if you go on the stand next to me this side, it will take you to Bournemouth. If you go on that side, it will take you back to Castle Point, but I can't remember it's actually this stand here with the M1. You can get the 33 in either direction to Christchurch or Bournemouth. We're going to hop back on the bus in a minute, and then you'll see the little bit of the run we missed out and a bit more of the time lapse going from Charminster to bring this episode into season 2 standards. As I mentioned, this is the bit of the route we missed out last time we visited the M1 route. So we leave the hospital, turn right at the junction before heading down the bus lane towards the Cooper Dean roundabout, going straight across and then down into Castle Point. Following that, we then go on through Charminster, Bournemouth Railway Station, Bournemouth Town Centre via Westover Road. Then we come out into Westbourne, Branksome, Upper Parkstone, down into Lower Parkstone, before coming around by Bournemouth and Poole College, and then alongside the hospital into Poole bus station itself. Now, we did cut a bit of the route coverage in this video, just on the section between Bournemouth and the turn-off in Parkstone. This is just because we have it on other videos. See the 16s, 17s and 18s for the rest of that footage, as it basically follows the same route between Bournemouth and Parkstone. Now, we're fortunate enough to have 1412 for this lovely journey. It's one of the nicest buses on the especially livery-wise in my opinion, just because it has that lovely handsome Dorset livery. It's also, out of this batch of buses being the Olympuses and the Visionaires, it's the best one out of the bunch, just for its performance. Comfort for passengers is about the same. You do get a standard size buggy bay with space for a wheelchair, or 2 buggies if you get lucky. Now, this bus was taken off ferry duties for quite a while, as it went for a rebuild and they forgot to recertify it for the ferry, but just in time for this year's summer season it is now able to go on the ferry, so you can see this doing stuff like the 40s, the 50s and all other manner of routes around Swanage, Poole and Bournemouth. But like I said, we were lucky enough to have it on the M1 today. Now, it was a nice night for this run. We managed to get on at about dusk, so you go from a nice daytime setting when we're back at the hospital to a more nighttime by the time we get to Poole Bus Station. Now, this was a Friday night run, if my memory serves me correctly, and it was quite busy. You had a lot of people going into Bournemouth and a lot of people going to Poole respectively. Now, you see here we've jumped up to Parkstone, where we turn left at the Waitrose down towards Lower Parkstone and Ashley Cross, before we head back round into Poole. But there's a little bit left of the time lapse, so I won't disturb you for that much longer.
So we're back at Poole Bus Station now. You can see 1412 behind me. We're actually on M stand now, as that goes out on a 17, I believe. But this does wrap up season 2 for On the More buses. So I hope you have enjoyed this season at least. And we will be back in June for season 3, starting off with a variation of the route that started it all. We'll be starting off with the 70s. Well, at least the summer one. We're going park to park. We'll join Butler at least halfway along, but before that, in a minute, we've got something to do. So as I said, we've got one more thing to do. We've got Blakey here with me, and Blakey, would you like to tell them the news?
I'm officially leaving Moorbus to begin a coach ride.
He's going to be going over the South Coast travel, so we'll see Blakey on holidays. And we will miss him, but we'll still see him around.
This is Blakey signing off for one last time.
And that concludes season 2. I hope you did enjoy, and we'll see you again on the More buses. Cheerio.
There's always gay life on the buses. Make sure you leave your bird at home. You'll see so many on the buses. You won't be sitting on your own. It's so romantic on the buses. You'll find it thrilling when you ride, and you can get it on the buses, upstairs or down inside. Oh, it's a great life on the buses, no matter what the time of day. You'll see the world on omnibuses. We're on our way. much feeling on the buses as people fumble for the fare. It always happens in the crushes. They take their chances when it's there. It's so exciting on the buses when someone's fumbling close to you. But when the traffic jams in rush,